afternoon, Facebook friends and family. It's another edition of the Superstar Show with yours truly, the Superstar lender, Chad Levine. I'm going to take these sunglasses off. I just felt it was necessary because it's an absolutely beautiful day out today. We've had a 20-degree swing here on the East Coast, literally 60 degrees yesterday, almost 80 degrees today, back down to another 60 tomorrow. So I figure, hey, take advantage of the times. And our guests today are actually coming to us from the West Coast. So I was in that kind of mood. I had my sunglasses on. I had my palm tree T-shirt rocking, and for me, it's always about mindset. It's been a long time. I haven't done a superstar show in God knows how long, but it's coming back. It's coming back strong. We're going to be debuting the new brand RE Superstars soon, which I'm really excited about. We're going to have our new YouTube page up, so post show you guys can check all these out and repeat your episodes and grab your popcorn because I know the stuff's so riveting to most of you out there. Lots of exciting things happening today in the Philadelphia area. Phillies are in the playoffs for, oh my God, over a decade now. So the vibe around here is crazy. And our guest, Steve, will definitely weigh in on that because I know he's a Philly fanatic. But, overall, my message is what it always is most of the time, especially to the real estate community. What a crazy time for us all, the ups, the downs, the all arounds. And keep your mindset, stay focused, stay positive, and just remember it's through the storms that everyone rises. And what I mean by that is in tough times when it's tougher to sell real estate. And look, I'm in the loan business. Rates are high. No matter how much we try and spin it, rates are high. Rates are higher than they've been in a long time. And, it slows activity, but you gotta keep your mind at ease. You gotta stay positive. You gotta keep driving because we're the people that are there for the good and the bad. And that's what keeps us being the professionals, right? And it's a nice little nugget message for everyone. I think there's something to take away from that. But again, my monologues usually go on too long, and I'm probably a minute and a half in and probably 30 seconds too long at this point. But I am going to bring to the stage Miss Judy Allen and Mr. Steve Brady coming to us live from Arizona. How you guys doing today?
Hey, what's up, Chad? How are you?
How are you? So thanks for being on the show, Steve. I stalked you pretty good for a solid, what, 2 months, I think?
Pretty much, yeah, and we appreciate that. So,
So first of all, tell us. I love Arizona. I have a connection to it, by the way, which I'm going to talk about. Tell us in Arizona where you guys are actually, broadcasting from today.
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale. Okay. So my brother went to the U of A. He
okay,
was there for 2 years. And it's not that funny of a story, but it's a funny story enough. I had never been to Arizona before my brother went to college there. And my parents said to me at that point, I was a sophomore in high school. I was a heavier guy, so I sweat a lot. I'm a heavier guy. My parents say to me, there's a purpose for saying this. They say to me, come out and help us move them, right? I had no idea what heat was. I had no idea what he was until not only am I moving him in, which makes you sweat in general, but
Mhm.
Tucson, Arizona in August, walking up these steps, moving my brother in. Oh,
yes, Julie kind of sold me a bill of goods of you can't shovel sunshine, and it's a dry heat. That's a bunch of crap.
As a
You know,
true.
so you know, 115 is 115. I don't care how whatever you call it. So.
So you're saying people do sweat in Arizona, people that have lived there, they do sweat.
Occasionally, not really.
Uh,
So
Occasionally, I think though the humidity this year has definitely been a little bit more than definitely last year. So
mhm.
Is it have you guys have they I guess I don't know how long have you guys been actually living there for?
I've been here set like 7, almost 8 years now.
yeah,
So
Okay. Are
yeah,
you
and
si- are you
I've been out here for
single?
about a year and a half.
Oh,
mhm,
you're still a baby out there.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Then the complaining does make sense. I get it.
right.
Have you seen? I guess in 7, 8 years, not so much. But has there been a climate change over the years in terms of more of the? I mean, is it just no, just the same?
maybe it has gotten a little bit hotter.
Uh-huh.
So I know that our max temperature is 122, I think, or maybe 123 is the top that we've been sometime in
Wow.
July.
Wow. And have you guys ever legitimately fried an egg on the sidewalk?
I haven't, but I'm sure that you could. So
I'll tell you what, we'll try. Actually, it's probably not
it's
hot
not
enough
hot
right
enough.
now, but the temps right now have been ranging kind of 85 to 100.
uh,
So
It's been nice.
yeah, it's not too bad. It's only 100. Right
yeah,
now.
only
So
what's the best time of year there? Is it winter? I guess winter.
I would say I kind of like this season right now, actually October, November, but
Okay.
January, February, March is high season out
Okay.
here for all the snowbirds
All
and
right.
just everybody's out here. So
So I'm gonna before I get dive deep into other stuff. I just have one question: Is Chompy's Deli still there?
it
yes.
is. We were just there last week. So
Dude,
it's
love it.
Chompy's is about 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
Uh I when my brother when we used to do like the homecoming and the visitation, we went to Tucson twice, and my parents were like, "Meet us in Scottsdale."
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, "We're good. You can meet us in Scottsdale."
Mhm.
All right, cool. So let's get into it. I want to so I guess the first question, and I don't know this. Like, the good thing is I don't know much about you guys. That's what makes the interview even better, right?
Mhm.
So Julie, are you originally from the East Coast?
Yes, I'm from Central Jersey.
You're from Central Jersey, and Steve, you're a Philadelphia guy, right?
I grew up in Philly. Yeah.
All right, so let's do Central Jersey, and then we'll do Philly. I'm in South Jersey now, by the way. I lived in Philadelphia for a long time. We had our second kid, and then we were like, all right, we're good, we're out. So we
Okay.
moved across the bridge. I'm in Haddonfield, actually. Now that's where I'm
All right.
broadcasting from. All right, so Central Jersey. Where in Central Jersey are you from?
But Manalapan.
I know
A lot of people.
Manalapan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So Manalapan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish, so Jewish.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
That's why Chompy is also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
there you
yeah.
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have an Irish Catholic wife though, so it balances me
Okay.
out.
All right.
I'm the Irish guy in this
There
relationship.
you
So
go. There you
yeah.
go. Look, it's the best of both worlds, right?
Yes.
All right. So Central Jersey. What was life like there? What like the parents? What were your parents in real estate? What'd your parents do? What?
Both my parents have their own businesses.
Oh,
My
nice.
mom is in real estate. She's probably been in it for maybe 10 or 11 years now,
Oh,
I want to say. And kind of works as, she's on a small team out there.
yeah.
Um, but I grew up in Jersey. It is beautiful. I think more that I'm out here, I kind of miss the green every
Mm,
now and then. And the Jersey Shore because it was just 30 minutes away.
right.
Um, but probably the majority of my adult life and kind of working life, I've been outside of Jersey already. So,
And where did life take you? Where did you college? Where'd you go?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went for a extremely the most useless degree you could get in college, in evolutionary anthropology, and
Oh, what?
which was great, which is great at cocktail parties. And graduated in 2008, so the worst time that the world has seen in kind of
Ah,
recent history.
mm,
Well, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but still,
yeah.
2008, useless degree, and decided to do something else and went for my MBA, and it
Mm,
took me to China,
wow.
and Singapore, and then Mexico, and then I came back to Jersey, and then I decided I was over the cold after living in all those hot weather places for like 4 or 5 years,
Hmm.
and came to Arizona. My sister is an agent out here, and she's been out here
Oh,
since she went to ASU. So she went to
the good old
ASU.
Sun, though. You know what I love about
Yeah.
ASU is that where Ben and Jerry's was born. No, no, that's New Hampshire. But I remember or something or one of the Maine or something. But it's funny because when I was a kid, I had never been to a Ben and Jerry's ice cream store, and I remember going to the one in ASU. I don't know if it's still there. Is that still there? Do you know?
I don't think it is.
Oh, okay. I'm
But
trying to live my food glory. I know.
Yeah.
when I first moved out here, I was living actually right in Tempe on
Oh,
ASU's campus, and I mean, I've always been pretty good in school. If I went to ASU as a teen, I would have failed out of school,
yeah.
not even a question about it. It's just it's a party. everywhere. So
It's so cool. It really
it's awesome.
yeah, it really is so cool. And where'd you do college? Where'd you go to college?
I went to Rutgers.
Oh, nice. Oh, sweet.
Mhm.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then, so I know we went quickly. So I want to know about the China and the Mexico and the like. Yeah, you want to skip over the good stuff. We just want to go right to
Yeah.
Arizona. So tell me about what did you do? Like, you don't have to name the company if you don't want, but at least give me a synopsis. Yeah.
So I worked in hospitality. I
Hmm.
wanted to do something with kind of event planning and
Hmm.
marketing.
Huh.
So the economy, I don't know about what I can say on here or not, but the economy
Say
still
whatever you
sucked.
want. You can
Still
say whatever
sucked
you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
when I got out of my MBA and I got into this, and it was kind of split between the US and Singapore was where I did my
Wow.
MBA. So I'd already been over on that side of the world for a little bit, and everyone was talking about China's boom, and
Mm.
it was the time in like the 2010s, early 2010s was amazing.
Hmm.
Um, I was over there working in hospitality for a company. Spoke Spanish
Yeah.
from other things, just kind of a little.
Are you fluent?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Oh, cool.
So, and I just decided one day to apply to what sounded like a dream job and thought I would kind of shoot my shot. And they wound up making me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Wow.
They told me that the position was based in Cancun. Did I know that? And was I okay with it? And I said yes. And
Wow.
I wound up based in Cancun for 3.5 years, and my
Wow.
job was to market and evaluate and stay at luxury 5-star all-inclusives. So world's smallest violin.
Wow.
Everybody feels so bad for me. But yeah,
So
three and a
so
half years doing that.
I was gonna ask you about life in Asia, but now I'm more interested in the Mexico thing. So give me a synopsis of life in Singapore. Like what would it like? Just give me, your overview of what it was like then. I'm just curious.
Oh, just shopping and eating are the two national pastimes of Singapore.
Huh.
It's on the equator. It is The sun rises and sets same time every day, all
That's
year.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Um, it's humid and it probably rains like 2 or 3 times a day over
Wow.
there. And just like a food paradise. It's awesome.
So what did you
Really good
take?
food.
Did you take anything from that experience that you use now? Do you think just understanding different cultures maybe is that an something you pride yourself on maybe?
I tried. I mean, it's been a while
Mm.
since Asia for me, but I
Mm.
tried to, and it's always interesting to see how differences like in work and real estate between the two. We
Sure.
spent some time in Mexico just earlier this year, just a couple of months ago, just for just vacation and fun. But it is very different, the processes of purchasing and kind of what kind of builder warranties for condition and quality of homes and what's kind of normal and standard for
Hmm.
size of homes, things like appliances, amenities, and just who your market is in different countries. Are you marketing to international people that are coming there as a second home? Can they use it as a vacation rental? What are the rules and restrictions for that?
Hmm.
And then just kind of seeing how different economies are growing. And certain countries, you have no rights as a buyer in that country, that the
Uh,
government can pretty easily kind of take things away from you or have restrictions based on what kind of zones you're in, if they're kind of reserved for nationals.
mm,
And I don't know. So there's definitely kind of a different perspective to that, just to be
hmm.
able to kind of compare them. And I think at least for Mexico, seeing some of the older neighborhoods and then kind of seeing some neighborhoods in both of our respective cities where we're from,
Hmm.
and kind of what is the minimum kind of living standards in certain areas, we can kind of compare and say, we are lucky to be living here in the US and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Any recommendations on resorts in Cancun? What's up, Bruno? You 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 guys get
Bruno and
shout outs
Stacy.
during the show, by the way.
Yeah, Bruno and
hey,
Stacy are good people. They're awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
they are good people. They really are. Sending you guys love out in Florida as you rebuild
Mhm.
everything out there. God, man, what a crazy, crazy mess it was. Whew.
Mhm.
Oh my God. So Mexico, is there any resorts you want to shout out, or because I have one that I like there.
Which one do you like?
I like it wasn't the Rio, it was the other one. Oh God, not excellence. Is that what it's called?
Excellence is a great
That's what it was.
company.
Yeah.
It was part of the company that I worked with out there.
Oh.
Prior to me coming to it, though, they had split off before I came on board, but it was similar to kind of our scope of company. So, um, they've changed names so many times.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard to find a bad one. I
Yeah.
want to say
True.
I'm gonna be really
True.
nice and
True.
say,
Yeah.
um, if I have to pick some favorites, I really love Secrets the Vine
Hmm. Okay.
in Cancun, and then Secrets Maroma
Hmm.
in Playa del Carmen, right outside of Playa del Carmen in Maroma Beach. So
Okay.
I think it's like the top three beach in the world. So really, really pretty.
Do you guys? I'm a big fan of. Is it the Biltmore that's out in Scottsdale? I love that.
Yes.
In Phoenix,
Oh,
yep.
it's at
Mhm.
Phoenix. Okay, I'm a big fan of that. And then I always is it Phoenician? Are they separate? Or are they different? I always forget.
They are separate. I don't think Steve says I never take him anywhere nice. So
Yeah.
I've never taken him to the Phoenician, so we've
It's
never been to
nice.
the Phoenician pool. We
It's
have been
nice.
over to the Biltmore though.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
She needs to hook you up there, Steve-O.
Nah, this is, I get Taco Bell and, some of these other things. So,
Hey,
but,
listen, if you're a burrito guy, you must be in heaven out there.
well, so, it's funny though, prior to us meeting, she had never had Taco Bell. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what, something's wrong with this
Had
thing?
you had it growing
Me?
up? Yeah.
Me? I mean, I
Yeah.
was like 300 in high school,
Yeah,
so
he
yeah.
said he was a big guy.
All right. I don't know. So, okay. All right.
I had it
Yeah.
all, man. Yeah.
And yeah, and I think you're a little bit younger than I am, but they were like 36-cent tacos back in the day that
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember
so
that. Oh yeah. I'm not that young, man. And when they took off the Mexican pizza, I literally had to have a funeral. All right, so Steve, hit me with the good stuff, man. I want to hear the Philadelphia story. I love Philadelphia people. I'm a Philadelphia guy, so give me the whole where you came from and all that good stuff.
yeah, sure. So I grew up in Southwest Philadelphia. I went to high school at Central High School,
Oh,
though
my
up
dad
in
was.
really, yeah.
My dad
So,
was he 226? Was he 226? I don't
all
remember.
right, you get it. It's a cult.
Yep.
I was 249.
Okay.
And you don't talk about what year you graduated. It's all about your class number.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I just did a deal with Kelly Gorman at KW Philly. She's a Central grad.
Uh-huh.
It's just it's a different thing.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even know how to describe it.
And you
I
went
you know
when it
what?
was and you went when it was co-ed. When my dad went, it was all guys.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
About 2 years prior to me starting, they switched over.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you what. I mean, probably Central, kind of developed me a little bit. Everybody was there for a reason. It didn't
Mhm.
matter race, male, female, whatever the case is. It was just a really close knit group of people. The
Mhm.
most diversified group that I'd ever been around,
Mm.
and it just shaped me in a way that you know to this day, like we're close.
Mhm.
We probably have a group of 60 to 70 people that we communicate, we get together when everybody's in town. And it was just an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And I would have went to West Catholic,
Mhm.
which would have been a great experience as well. But I'm really glad I was able to go to Central and stuff like that. So it was, yeah, great experience.
And what's family for you? So are you would you live at home, grew up with your parents, siblings? What was the whole family
Yeah,
setup?
so my dad was a Philadelphia fireman.
Yeah. Okay.
My mother was a housewife,
Mhm.
and it's funny about the Philadelphia Eagles connections and stuff like that. My dad was a diehard Eagles fan. I grew up a Cowboys fan, which
Oh. Oh.
not a good experience. There was a lot of days I got chased home from school just
You
because I
know what?
wore a
That's
you know
I shouldn't laugh. You're probably right. I mean,
yeah
I just smirk because I'm from Philadelphia, but I get it.
yeah
I'm trying to
yeah
hold it in. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm
so
trying.
I I guess I was about 18 or 19 years old though, and my father bought me tickets, and I don't
Uh-huh.
remember exactly, but it was Philadelphia against Detroit, Barry Sanders era, Herman
Oh,
Moore, Scott
man.
Mitchell, and he's like, I got your tickets to the game, and I'm
Oh,
like, I don't like the Eagles, and he's like, well, you have a choice, and I'm like, what's that? He goes, you can get out, or you can convert, and so I stopped
so
it.
Steve, let's tell everyone you can bring home a Jewish girl, but you can't bring home a Cowboys fan. I love it.
Exactly. Like my dad was like heartbroken that I was a Cowboys fan,
I love it.
and he finally he was like he laid down the law and was like you're out, and so I converted.
What's your dad's name? What's your dad's name?
Uh, by John Brady, but he
John.
passed in December 2018.
John,
So
if you're watching this from above, John, mad props to you, my friend.
yeah. So, the interesting thing about that game was I went to the game, I bet the game, I bet Detroit, and they crushed them. I can't remember the score. It was in the snow, and there was no way you couldn't get caught up in the excitement of the bet. It was a
Yeah,
bet at the time, and I'm like, all right, I'm an Eagles fan.
love
So,
it.
I'm probably more tied to players.
Uh-huh,
This isn't a what's the word I'm looking for? I was a Wentz guy, which isn't
uh-huh,
a big thing in Philly right now.
uh-huh.
So I struggle with Hurts a little bit right now, but he's looking pretty good. So
That's cool, man. It's funny because you have to be from Philadelphia to understand the connection. The best way to describe it. Have either of you watched Welcome to Wrexham yet?
I have not.
So
Mm-mm.
you've got to watch this, Steve. So Rob McElhenney is from Always Sunny in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yep.
He is a Philadelphia guy. He owns Max Tavern in Old City.
Okay.
He and Ryan Reynolds, like the Ryan Reynolds, bought a football team in Wales, North Wales,
Yep.
called
I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it is the coolest show, and it's so intertwined with Philadelphia. He literally says in the first episode, "I bought this team because it's the only place I can think of that's like Philadelphia. The whole community is bananas over this team."
Yeah.
You guys got to watch the show, by the way. You will love
Okay.
it. You have
Absolutely.
to watch that show. But anyway, so I digress. So you did Central, then what? Then where did life take you?
Central. So I kind of did the community college route. It's not exactly the central thing, but I wanted to. I was a baseball player. I had a couple pro tryouts.
Really?
Yeah, Houston, Detroit, Texas, Philadelphia.
Wow.
Unfortunately I didn't make it, but I put myself in position that I did that. I was always fast, and had a good arm, but I was a 6'1", 135-pound outfielder.
Wow.
Um, and some stories for another day, type deal. But I was right around that steroid era.
Uh-huh.
Um, Unfortunately, it wasn't something that was on my radar,
Got it.
but it was suggested.
Got it.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I did that, and I got married young, had kids,
Mm.
and I have three great kids. One just graduated University of Pittsburgh, another
Oh, nice.
graduated from Millersville University, and then I've one in Conestoga High School right now. So
Awesome.
you know, did that. At one point I got into the golf course industry. I managed golf courses on the East Coast for about 14 years.
Wow.
Tri-state area, Brigantine, Juniata in the city. Where else? Rock Manor in Wilmington, Delaware. So I did that
Dude,
route.
dude, tell me that course at is that JFK? What is that crappy
Uh,
course?
j- um, geez,
Roosevelt Park?
FDR.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my
it's
god.
you know. I'll tell you what though, FDR had a very strong local base,
Uh-huh.
of guys that have been around that neighborhood forever.
Uh-huh.
It was flat. It was 3 feet below sea level. So it would always get completely wet with rain.
Yeah.
Uh, I was a regional manager for the one company I worked for, and that was actually one of my clubs
Oh wow.
that I was kind of, Cops Creek, FDR, John F. Byrne. I had a couple in Delaware, and then one up in Harleysville,
Wow.
called Letter Arc. So,
Huh.
did that. Moved over into. I worked for Subaru in Cherry Hill, on 73 that you're probably familiar with. Being over in Haddonfield.
Mhm.
And then basically kind of got out of that. I was a sales guy there for a couple years and then a sales manager.
Hmm.
and was trying to decide what I wanted to do after that, and basically had been introduced to real estate, had already been taking my classes, and then worked my way into real estate. About 3 months after Subaru. So
Okay, so that's good. I think that's. Is there anything else you want to sum up in terms of the personal side of this? Because then we're gonna go super high level, professional, sexy
yeah,
mindset, like superstar stuff. So anything
no,
else you want us to be? Did I
I
miss
guess
anything?
probably the only thing would be kind of really how we met. Um,
Yes,
you
please.
know,
Yeah.
we were both KW people,
Mhm.
awesome people, awesome company. We both, to this day love KW.
So
Mhm.
were you both at the same office in the city?
No, no.
Mhm.
So she was
Oh,
out here. I was in the city,
oh,
working at KW Philly.
uh-huh,
Noah Ostroff, Mike McCann,
uh-huh.
their office.
That's my next segment. We're gonna get
Yeah.
into that, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we knew people through we knew each other through mutual friends. I wanted to travel, and she loves to travel as well. And it was one of the things, hey, we'll meet up. I have some relatives out here. I'm like, oh, maybe there's an opportunity for you to talk to them about some real estate.
Oh,
And a one-way ticket basically ended up being 21 days, and then I never left.
It was in
Yeah,
February
yeah,
and it was snowing in Philadelphia.
yeah.
Don't. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Well, no,
So
and it's truly the case. Like it was
yeah.
snowing in Philly,
Mhm.
and I'm
And
like,
it
hey,
was 70 degrees and
yeah.
sunny in February and pool season. So,
yeah,
I get it. No,
and
I
then
was gonna say, I figured you guys. What do they call? What's the big event? Is it called Mega? What do they call the? What are the big Keller Williams events called?
oh,
it's
Mega
Mega
Camp
Camp
and
family
Yeah,
reunion.
family
I thought
reunion.
you guys were gonna tell me you met at Mega Camp.
No, well,
I think we were there at
it-
the event at the same time, but
yeah,
didn't meet. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I think I responded to a
and we have
post,
mutual friends too.
post one time that she
Uh,
was with some of my friends at. I think it might have been family reunion, and I couldn't go. I just commented and type deal, and then she tried to recruit me to EXP,
uh-huh.
Mhm.
and here we are.
Oh,
So,
you.
With
Well,
EXP.
yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say, Julie, you must be very good at what you do.
I don't know. It took a long
yeah,
time. So yeah.
Well,
but
so I want to dig into that. And we'll go back to Julie and your
Mm.
start in the industry, and then Steve. I want to dig. Yours is a Philadelphia. I mean, you've worked with what I call, because I'm a real estate guy. I know the community. I
mhm,
know the industry. You've worked with some of the most well known
absolutely.
in the Philadelphia community. I want to talk about that. So Julie, give me your entrance into the business, how you built yourself up, who'd you start with, give me all that good stuff.
Sure. So, my mom is in real estate, and she is in real estate because of my sister, who is
Oh,
also a realtor, out here. And I
okay.
moved out here kind of, well, I was over the weather when I had moved back home to New Jersey after kind of finishing up in Mexico and still kind of figuring out what do I want to do next.
Mhm,
Um, I figured, and I had gotten my license in New Jersey at the time. Very different
mhm.
working in New Jersey and working in a lawyer state versus a title state. Out here, it is the Wild West. We can do whatever. We write contracts. It's pretty simple. I think it's a simpler process than back east with kind of attorney review, and you can get kicked
Yeah.
out when under contract. Um, it just after so many years out of state, I kind of didn't really have a sphere anymore.
Mhm,
Um, and I decided, all right, maybe I'll come out here, and I'm very competitive.
mhm.
So I said, I'm going to go out to Arizona and I'm going to compete with my sister. So I probably didn't say it as nicely as that either, but just in
Yeah,
fun,
I get it.
or 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 team up. She's actually incredible agent. She is so good at what she does. She makes it look so easy. She's
Mhm.
also got 5 kids and runs
Wow.
every committee and event and this, that, the other, and keeps it all together. So she really is amazing. So I
Wow.
don't want to diminish. And she is
No, yeah.
she is one of the top agents in KW's office year over year over year.
Wow.
Has a fantastic luxury business. It's a lot of repeat and referral because
Great.
she's just so active in her community. But I wanted to compete
Mhm.
because I had been told a while ago that maybe people don't pick up their phone out here. Now I might be one of those people, but I will respond to texts.
Yeah.
So, but I just so much spam. Um, and I will
I,
never
I
forget.
had to I had to DM a listing agent yesterday because we put in an offer, and I'm a
Mhm.
lender, so no one. What do you mean you're a lender? What are you calling me for? So the realtor called me saying, "I get a response." I DM'd her. Yeah, she
That's
Mm.
responded to the DM.
yeah.
It's just well, that's a whole other kind of thing. But
So your sister was with KW when you came out, and then
yes,
so when you started, you just joined KW. Now, were you a solo agent? Or did you join a team?
I was a solo agent. I think I joined a team for a minute.
Okay.
My personality is probably less. I kind of march to my own
Yeah.
my own beat. Um, so and also with certain, teams all operate differently. So that's
Sure.
not saying that because we have a small team as
Mhm.
well, but that's not saying that each team kind of runs itself the same way or same expectations of team members. But I was on a team just briefly exploring that as an option. It worked better for me with kind of what I was doing to be um, to be a solo agent.
Okay.
And I just remember the first time that they posted the numbers for the month, the top 10, either, by volume or transaction count for any given month. And, it's an office of almost 400 agents.
Yeah.
And she and I are regularly neck and neck. And there was one time but it was just each month individually. And then there's also kind of rolling year to date. So we kind of went back and forth a little bit. And when
That's
I first moved out here, besides knowing my sister, I really didn't know anybody.
uh-huh.
So I was going to maybe 10 to 15 networking events a week. There are a ton of them. If like everybody out here is a transplant, if you want to meet people, it's so easy if you want to. There's a ton of groups. And I don't know how much business I got from that, but I got just some kind of activity and motion
Sure.
and familiarity with different parts of the valley. Phoenix is like a big blob, like a Rorschach test. Whereas a lot of other cities in the U.S., you might specialize in kind of one or two, or kind of stay like going. I know for Philly, it's east or west or north or south along a freeway. Out here, Phoenix is a grid, they will
Mhm.
say. But there's a loop system, so we can cover anywhere within, we can be anywhere in an hour.
Okay.
And in a city of like 3 million people in an hour, anywhere. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then, so where did you see the turning point for your business? Like, so you're doing all these networking events. What else are
mhm.
you doing? Like, tell me about the turnaround for you on an individual level.
Sure. So I think if you can sign up for as many kind of free opportunities or things that are like a lot of different referral sources, there were, things almost, there's like a version of an Angie's List out here
Hmm.
that I was really active with that actually brought me my first couple of deals,
Oh,
including actually a couple of them that are going on right now.
oh wow.
Um, I probably did a lot more than I do right now. Kind of Facebook posts and interactions in different groups.
Hmm.
Um, Plenty of people that are renting, looking to buy, first time buyers, and just also I did go to a lot of those events then with KW and other kind of different real estate events, both locally and nationally,
Hmm.
to build my base of agents because we have like I think 200 people at the time. It was between 150 and 200 people a day moving to Maricopa County, and
Hmm.
also kind of knowing where they are originating from, most of them coming from California and Washington State, and
Oh.
then kind of a smattering from Chicago, from
Minnesota.
Colorado, from Minnesota, and knowing their price point and typical demographics, like price point, people coming from California, Washington are generally looking at higher price points. They
Hmm.
may be younger and include and have families. Some people that we see from Chicago or from, and this is not all of them, but Chicago and Minnesota, maybe we see retirees, people looking for second homes,
Hmm.
something smaller, and we know kind of communities where there may be an established presence
Hmm.
that they maybe want my friend lives down the block, we want to live in Sun City, for example.
Got it.
So
Was
um,
there a lot? Was there a lot of learning? And even Steve, I should ask, I guess, because you haven't been there that long. It's a whole because it's such a different layout. Do you have? Is there a lot of learning in terms of the geography and how it's set up?
Yeah, so I mean, you pretty much got two distinct areas that you have the East Valley and the Valley.
Mm,
Divided by the 17
Yeah,
highway.
so
Yeah.
kind of Phoenix, almost maybe middle, and then
Hmm.
you're separated east and west
Hmm.
mm.
type deal. So, and I'm still,
Sure.
I love my GPS,
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
basically,
too. Me too. So,
so, and that's actually in Philadelphia as well. Even growing up there in the surrounding neighborhoods, for whatever reason,
Well,
I've
you
always,
just get to a number, right? You either
right,
get to the
exactly.
number or you get to either Chestnut, Walnut, Market. Yeah,
Yeah, I've always been, geographically challenged,
yeah.
but
Me too.
I always knew things by golf courses or
There
landmarks,
you go.
so or cheesesteak places,
Well,
which is,
golf courses, you'll be good out there, right? Was there
yeah,
50?
well, there's so
20?
many out
there's so
here.
Yeah.
many.
Yeah,
There's
so
like 200 or
but
something
yeah,
like that.
it's one of the first
It's a
places I
lot.
went when I came out here was Greyhawk, so it was like, all right, here's a good opportunity to network and stuff
Uh,
like that. I can talk that,
In
I can have
sports.
that conversation. So
that makes
yeah,
sense.
but yeah, it's I'm pretty good at relationships and opening my mouth and trying to create a conversation, and listening around real estate. So I don't want to take away from Julie's time, but
No, no. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
this is to be totally honest with you guys. It's the most common theme I see. I've interviewed agents at all aspects of their business. I've done over 200 shows. It's funny, people don't even realize that. I've talked to like 200 agents. It's
yeah,
nuts. But when you talk to everyone, the most common thing is their ability to create connections and their ability to have these relationships with people. And
Mhm.
until you can turn that on and understand it, you really can't develop a true long-term, deep-rooted
yeah,
referral business.
Yeah.
You really can't. And that's the key is social media isn't there to show how many people, how many homes you sold, or how many trophies you've won, or how many awards you've gotten. It's
Mhm.
there as a vehicle for you to create those relationships. And when
yeah.
you start to use it that way, it becomes valuable in any business.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I first came out here,
Mhm.
I wasn't licensed, so
Uh,
Julie would be, out doing showings and I'm, hey, I got to do something.
mm,
So, local bar, was right up there,
there you
and
go.
one
Oh my
you
God.
know,
They,
one day, like the first day I'm in there,
uh-huh.
I say to her, I'm like, "Hey, do you wanna come up and meet me for lunch after you're done?" And she gets up here, and I'm like, "Alright, there's Cuddy, there's Rex," like, she's like, "How do you know everybody in this place already?"
Yeah.
And, it's I'm interested by people's story,
Mhm.
when I was with Subaru, when I was at golf courses, I always wondered where people were from. And in this industry now, it's always an easy conversation,
Mm,
and especially if somebody, hey, I'm from, the East Coast. All right, where at? I grew up in,
Mhm.
like it's always something that's been a very easy transition.
mhm,
And I really believe it allows people to take their guard down a little bit, and you to be able to create a conversation that, what, it's not real estate related, but
mm.
it eventually gets there. So
Yeah, and that's not to cut you off, Julie,
Oh, no,
but
no, no.
no, but that's funny. Like I every other day I have this same conversation. I don't like to sell any aspect of what I do. To me, it's like, can we connect? And if we connect, you're going to be interested in what I do, and then you're going to open up that trust door, right? That allows us to talk about that stuff. Because if you lead with the hey, I sell real estate, I'm the number one, blah blah blah
right.
blah blah, people see right through that shit. Like they
Mhm.
just do. It's
Mhm.
true. But what were you
Yeah.
gonna say, Julie? What were you gonna
Oh,
say?
I was gonna say we're not gonna give the name of that bar, but
Yeah.
um the people that we've met there on any given night or any given day, whenever, um
Throughout the whole day.
Right.
I mean these there is such these people own massive portfolios out here, and you would never know to look at any of them. Like it's just you would it's very kind of discreet.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, there was that. There was something else I was gonna say,
Yeah.
but I kind of lost it.
But
Anyway, so
yeah.
yeah.
No, you're good. I want to so Steve, let's get into your Philadelphia real estate side, because
Okay.
it's so intriguing to me. I've known about you. You didn't know this, but I've known about you because I look, I you have to be a follow if you're in this business, you have to know everyone in the industry, right? Yeah, you just have to. It's part of it's a fraternity.
Yeah.
So I know you've worked under some of the biggest names in Philadelphia. I know you were there at very interesting turning points of those brokerages because they went from 0 to 60. Even Noah, I mean Noah, like holy crap! Like, so I want you to talk about your experience getting in there, working under these guys, what it was like, what you learned. Give me, and we'll keep it positive.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
no, look,
yeah,
in my opinion, there's nothing but positive from that.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're always not going to agree, certain
yeah.
things, this and that. I've been in management
No,
and
I was
sales.
actually more or less telling you I was going to keep it positive. I knew
Yeah,
you.
no, no, but I mean, I've
Yeah,
always been in sales or management my entire life.
yeah.
Not everything everybody does is
Oh boy.
Oh, sorry. No, we're here.
right.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful. I was very lucky to be introduced to KW prior to being an agent. Susie King, Beth Sandberg, Jason Gizzi, some people then KW Media, mainline office and stuff like that.
I had
And
Jason on this show. I had this
no,
Jason on.
Jason's he's awesome. I mean, he's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably the first one that kind of taught me belly to belly, and I'd
Uh,
always done that my entire life, but I didn't know the phrase,
Mhm.
of it. But I knew by joining KW as a new agent, I wasn't going to be what I always call I wasn't going to be left naked.
mm-hmm,
Like I was going to have a support group around me, that took an interest in not only me but me succeeding.
mm,
So I always had somebody I could call.
mm,
So I started out at the KW Brandywine office, Paul Lott, Francis McCarthy, Andrea Napoli, and a whole host of other people. My first deal was we were in a Sea Isle for a team event, and I had 8 agents kind of looking over my shoulder as I'm trying to put a contract together that I never put together, and it was like just this unbelievable collaboration, and
huh,
they took an interest in me. For me, that was a Chester County office. I
mm,
wasn't doing business there. I was doing Delco, and I wanted to be more involved in the Philly office, or Philly area.
mm,
So I made that switch, and I made it. I called up Mike McCann and I said, "Hey, I want to meet you with you." And he's like, "Who are you?" So we met. It might be the last time I've worn a suit, right? But I met with Mike and I said, "Hey, I want to host your open houses." And he's like, "Who are you again?" Um, and he's like, "You don't work here." He goes, "If you work here, you can do it." Well, I texted him later that night. I'm like, "Hey, I want to host your open houses." He goes, so he relents, he gives in, and I think I did 4 open houses the first weekend for him. And Mike's the king of real estate, and whatever. He's got all these things, and I gave him feedback right away. He's like, "Hey, I like you," and one thing led to another. I then joined that office. I
mm,
just thought, you look at the wall and you look at the Philly Living team, McCann team, Jim Roach team.
mm,
It's just I was like, all right, I want to be around these people.
mm,
Um, I eventually moved over to Noah's team. I was
mm,
an individual agent when I got there. You know, both those guys, McCann and Noah, kept me in the business,
mm,
right? As you know, you talk to a lot of people. While I was succeeding, I wasn't exactly making a ton of money.
mm,
People talk, "Oh, you're killing it," and I'm like, "All right, I'm broke."
mm.
Like I gotta do more. So McCann took a liking to me, gave me some overflow rental leads that kind of got me through a month. I think I did like 10 grand in rental leads
Wow.
in a month. I then joined Noah's team, Philly Living, another guy that, without Noah, I wouldn't be sitting here. You
Mm,
know, um, he took an interest in me. He made an investment in me, and he enabled me to get past the hump, and grow my business. So,
any nuggets you can give us?
McCann, I guess on McCann's side of things, him and Onesti have a phrase, and that whole team, they bought into a culture, and their phrase is 1 + 1 = 3.
Hmm.
And it's like, I'm good, you're good, together we're better. And that's something that I've always kind of taken from that experience.
Hmm.
And then also just looking at Jim Onesti and McCann. McCann's a guy I think a little bit more like me. He's me, without 800 transactions a year. But he's a guy that's going to talk to you at a listing appointment, and it's probably going to take longer. Jim Onesti's a guy that kind of walks right in the door. Hey, I want to be in there, to the point, and stuff like that. And it just shows that there's a bunch of different ways to do this business,
Mm,
and not every way is the right way for everybody.
mm.
So that was
True.
another from Noah. Noah has his hands in so many things.
Mm,
He's a successful guy on the development side. He running one of the really and successful teams. He just picked up the brokerages down in Florida.
Tampa. Hmm.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of things going on, and he's his father's a central guy.
Hmm.
And he's just he's built his business.
Hmm.
So from him, I think it's a little bit more of learning leverage and scale, and hey, how can I do more?
Huh.
So great experiences. Like both those guys, I owe a tremendous amount to. Ed Fordyce is another guy, in the industry, KW, kind of a coach guy that was, when you talk about mindset, he's helped me through some things. So,
Pretty cool. And do you think it's interesting? I always try and figure out. It's funny. I mean, I'm not an agent, so I don't know. KW's this like the whatever wonder of the world. I don't know how many we're up to now. What are we up to 10? Whatever it is. But
yeah.
like you know, KW comes on like a bat out of hell, right? It was the sexiest thing. Now Compass is a sexier thing, whatever. They're all trying to be sexier, but regardless, here's this big monster, this red monster. And I remember I was working with agents in both brokerages, and at one point, it was like West Side Story, but that's a different
Yeah.
story. But I'm thinking like an agent that has zero real estate experience, like nothing, right? Is it forgetting the individuals because they do are able to attract some major talent? Is the KW system very good at teaching someone with zero real estate experience? Do you guys think? I'm just curious.
So right before I came over to EXP,
Uh,
I actually sponsored a guy down in Florida um, to KW. I knew I was leaving, whatever but I felt for him
hmm
where he was at in his career, that
hmm
KW was going to make the most sense for him. Um, and it's still this way. We're always talking to agents. Both companies have you know kind of what can I say, like recruiting models, and
hmm
kind of profit share, revenue share, and so you're always need to be sponsored.
hmm
So I still talk to agents. I don't believe that any company, whether it be KW, Compass, EXP, is the right fit for everybody.
hmm
And I think it has a lot more to do with who are the people you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So it's more the mentor. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah,
Yep.
that's not
Yep.
to say that KW, EXP, really, whoever you want to,
Sure.
whatever brokerage, Remax, they're all great companies in their own way.
Sure.
But not all offices are created equal. Not all
Sure.
teams are created equal, and you really need somebody that's going to be invested, I think, in your success.
Mhm.
Now, in saying that, agents need to realize, newer agents, hey, I'm a business owner. It's
Mhm.
not, a lot of agents come from your
From
nine, yeah,
HGTV. Yeah.
HGTV, or 9 to 5 jobs where you were told, hey, I got to be in at 9. I do this from 9 to 11. I do take lunch at 12, and I'm gone at 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
And it's
That's
tough.
not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's tough really to kind of, now you have all this flexibility, which is in my opinion, a pro and a con,
I agree.
because, hey, I can go to Mexico, on a
Mhm.
trip where I don't have to be in the office. However,
Mhm.
I can go to Mexico and I don't need to be in the office. And that's also a negative, that,
Mhm.
Right.
if you're not doing the activities, you're not going to grow your business.
And it's such a good point. I mean, Steve, that's a huge point. I mean, that's a huge point that everyone. It's funny, like you watch these shows, and that's part of the other reason that I do this stuff because I'm interested in the grind. I like that stuff because I'm the same way. Look, I relate to everything you're saying. When I started, I didn't know how the hell to write any loan. I didn't even know what the hell that meant. Right? Like you had to fake it till you make it, and there's only so much differentiation you can have in my business because a conventional loan is a conventional loan, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But it's interesting. I'm listening to you talk, and because I'm so intrigued by the fact that you were taught under some of the biggest names in Philadelphia real estate, listening to you talk, and the one thing I'll compliment you on, Steve, and then we're going to talk about what you guys are doing now in the future. You are very good, and I can tell at allowing yourself to learn. So when you talk about your days back in Central and how it really molded you, sometimes people don't allow themselves to learn. It's a big thing. It's a very important because people they close themselves off almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll say one last thing on that, and then we can
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
talk is I knew for me, I'm kind of learning based. I want to know everything, and there are a lot of times I would call McCann or I'd call Noah or Sandberg or any I would call whoever it took so I could get an answer. And there was a lot of times I knew the answer already, but
Hmm.
for me it was just kind of validating it, saying, all right, you know what, I'm brand new. Let me just make sure.
Hmm.
I've talked to Mike at 2 o'clock in the morning. I've talked to Noah at multiple times. Beth and I had lunch every Friday night or dinner. Like I always try to put myself around those people that, and they were probably sick of me talking about real estate, but I always just love talking about it. Julie hates as much as I talk about it, but like I enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. I want to learn more and I want to give more too. Like
Yeah.
I was lucky these guys were able to take an interest in me, and I hope to do the same, kind of for others as well. So, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. No, it's good. It's all good. I soak this stuff up, guys. This is like my thing. I like the stories. I like the grind. I like to help people build their businesses as well. It's one of the things I pride myself on. Is I really I'm not like a quote unquote lender. I'm a business partner, and that's how I
Mhm.
tell everyone. Like I don't take free leads. I'm not going to knock doors with you. Like this is a partnership, like this is, and that's the way it should be. That's the way
Mhm.
it really should be, no matter who you work with. So, all right, let's do fast forward. The name of the team is.
It's been,
Uh,
It's
but
really probably Steve and Julie. We've kind of run this kind of very lax, and there was a little bit of reason for us, being with EXP.
Mhm.
Um, both of us are competitive.
Uh-huh.
Um, we both wanted to get
Oh, talk to
icons.
me about that. Talk to me about EXP real fast, because I
Yeah,
don't know much about it.
yeah,
Give me
no,
a background.
EXP is, kind of it was some KW people that started it, kind of
Okay.
branched off.
Okay.
Very similar models,
Uh-huh.
different splits, different stuff like that.
for
I don't want to make this a recruiting.
for everybody that's watching at
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
I'm so glad that Chad, I'm so glad that you asked that question.
Listen, use guys. Use that's no purpose. Go ahead, do your thing,
Well,
man.
what I mean, basically, what it is if you were to take I think the best way to compare them is, and not just KW, nothing against KW, but just
Mhm,
general brokerage
mhm.
specific models.
Hey,
Hi,
John.
hi, John.
Yeah.
Um, it's like Blockbuster versus Netflix, in that one of the reasons that Netflix was able to succeed is that they didn't have that overhead that just made things less efficient. And it's the same thing of like Amazon versus kind of brick and mortar, which is unfortunate because we love all the mom and pops and we love that experience. And there is something to be said for that, both for the people that work in them,
Hmm.
as well as the people that are clients and the owners of those respective offices. But basically, through the economies of
Judy,
scale,
Julie, you don't have to be that PC. Just bring it on.
Yeah, no, it's
because I think
I
I'll be honest, we get a bad. There's a couple of people that just get a bad taste for us as just kind of like we'll just go in there and make everything about recruiting. It's not meant to be, but
Mhm.
just truthfully, we get benefits by being able to
Sure.
eliminate some overhead, and it
Yeah.
comes back to us in the form of both revenue share and benefits as far as stock and being able to keep more of our commissions based on our production, which we all do.
Love it.
The
Yeah.
most successful of
Yeah.
us are selling a lot of real estate because of these incentives. And then
Sure.
it also affords kind of the just purchasing power of things like a really amazing CRM, a great virtual environment where we can have classes and learn and interact with agents around the world every single day, and just a
Awesome.
really great kind of knowledge
Yeah.
base, and also referral opportunities for which we definitely take advantage of those in relocation, and REOs and allied partners, things like that. We've already received, and we just continue to grow our business through that. Maybe not every agent is participating in that. Also, express offers, which is fantastic because it's an iBuyer program
Wow.
that's exclusive to EXP. We've got 11 of them out here in Arizona that will buy assorted properties, conditions, buy and hold, fix and flip. It's just a lot of value add by being able to reduce some costs, which I even feel bad saying that because I still absolutely love KW and KW
I
people
don't. I
and
don't.
all the
I
other
don't.
brokerages too. So
I don't think there's anything. Look, at the end of the day, right? You
mhm.
guys feel like this is the best fit for your business, and
Yeah.
Steve said it. But Steve said it right, and this is an important message too, guys. I don't say it that often. Most people that watch the show that aren't in real estate don't
Mhm.
understand all the other sources of income. There's all this
Mhm.
other stuff going on for you guys. You know?
Mhm.
Well, and what I was gonna say, I'm, you know, I love EXP, I love KW,
Compass, all of them.
I
It's
have
great.
friends
Mhm.
everywhere, I truly believe it's where's the right fit for you,
Sure.
whether that's EXP or KW or Compass, whatever. Like, going back to, you just need to be surrounded by people that are gonna really have your interests. I didn't leave KW because of KW.
Hmm.
I came to EXP because, one, a potential
Because you
a
fell in
part.
love. Because you fell in love with Julie. Yeah.
No, it's look, you
I'm
know,
messing. I'm
look,
messing with you.
look, that's a real statement, and honestly, we debated, like, all right, where were we gonna
Where is it the best fit? What
where
makes the most sense for our
Sure.
where are
business?
we gonna move it to KW, or we're gonna move it to EXP?
That
And
makes sense.
what it
Or
really
even
came
or other
yeah,
options
what it
too.
really
So
came down to was me being licensed in 2 states,
Mm,
that there was definitely a significant cost savings to running my business to make the move to EXP.
makes
All right.
sense.
I didn't leave KW because I didn't like KW. I just saw a better fit for me at that particular time of my business.
Makes sense.
Um, and I guess give you a quick thing about our business.
Yeah, please.
We partnered up in January. Julie and we've talked real estate forever. She helped me on my business back home in PA. I was helping her out here prior. We'll increase our business. I think we did 18.8 million in 2021, kind of
Mm,
separate. We're at just under 28 million
wow.
year to date, through September.
with
Mm,
like
You know,
another maybe million pending right
yeah,
now.
we
So
should do
it does
somewhere in
seem
the 30 to 35 million range,
wow.
which, like I said, I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah.
To kind of been able to grow my business with her,
mhm.
and together, and it hasn't come without some growing pains. It's
So you guys are not McCann and Onesti.
And, well, no, no, you know what? It's funny. So I probably lean more McCann. She probably leans more Onesti.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She's a lot more direct and to the point. I'm a little more, hey,
Mhm.
let's find out about each other, type
Mhm.
deal. But like I said, learning lessons, and we play off of each other pretty well. We think the same way business wise in a lot of areas, that we can kind of, and we're also able to kind of really throw things off of each other, and it's also allowed us to build a team out here. We just hired 2 agents over the last, Taylor and Jen, who are awesome,
Mhm.
over the last couple months, in an effort to kind of scale and leverage, our business,
Mm,
Mhm.
and to grow it, and we're both probably vision people, of, where we see we're going to be at and stuff like that. So it's, we're always trying for, what more can we do? So,
mm. It's interesting. I mean, it's always interesting to talk to people at different stages and phases of where they are professionally, because when people get to a certain level of sales, even in real estate, it's always, how do I become more efficient? How do I make it more systematic? How do I do things growing, but growing smarter? right? And I
Mhm.
feel like that's where you guys are at, and it's funny because I'm listening to the evolution of you both professionally, and it's
Mhm.
classic. But the one thing that I want to, I want to state and state from a very important perspective is neither of you, and it's funny. You won't hear it that often, but neither of you shortcutted time. You put your time in. Julie, when you went out to
Mhm.
Arizona, you did everything you could touch. You were saying like anything you could get your hands on, you would do,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And Steve, the same way. Like you literally classically trained, you learned, you took the overflow of rentals from McCann. I mean, the both of you to me are what I call classic textbook success stories in the business because you took the time and you put the time in to ascend and do it because that's the biggest message of all of this, and it's very common. Rarely do I see someone that says, "Oh yeah, I just stumbled into it and I just make a ton of money." You know?
No, I wish.
I'll say one thing on that.
Yeah.
My first rental listing or first rental that I did was 1704 diamond or 1708 diamond, Temple
Near Temple, I
University.
was gonna say Temple, yeah.
Yep. So it was a $750 rental,
Uh,
that I was going to get 375. And people are like, why are you doing this?
yeah.
And for me, it was an opportunity to be around McCann and Daniel Ovechkin, who was the listing agent on it.
Mm,
And when I joined Noah's team, I gave him a list of my existing business, and I'm like, hey, this is what I have. He's like, where are these places? And I would go wherever I possibly could. And Julie was the same way of what do I need to do to kind of grow my business and stuff like that. So, at one point in this business, and not a lot of people know this, and I don't know how comfortable I feel sharing it on a podcast, but
Everyone
Yeah.
feels comfortable with me at some point, so bring it on, Steve.
I had $11 in my account,
Mm,
you know, um, and I
it's
didn't have a
real.
choice. Yeah, I didn't have a choice,
Mm,
so it was like I can either survive or I can go back to having an employer,
mm,
you know, that I didn't really want to do anymore.
mm.
I had done the corporate thing for a long time,
But
so
but it's important. So that to me, and thank you for sharing that, by the way, it adds to the value of the story and the respect level because there are people that come in with a different levels and different support, right? And have had different experiences. But at the end of the day, you were able to switch from Philadelphia to Arizona and successfully sell because you knew what you were doing, right? And that's important because so many people do this business without any thought. It's just, what do you do on a daily basis? I don't know. What's your week look like? I don't know. What's next month look like? I don't know. Like,
well, and
Yeah.
and look, I owe a lot of that to her.
uh,
I mean, there's no way in the world I could have come out here and do the things that we're doing now.
mm,
But we've been able to do it together because I think we both add a certain component to it. She had an established business. We've grown our
Mhm.
referral network because, now we have two people going after it versus one.
Mhm.
You know, we've, we just, there's more conversations.
mm,
I just got a referral, request last night from a KW Philly agent, who I've never met,
mm,
we're friends with on Facebook, and she's like, "Hey, I see you guys are like, where at in Arizona do you service?"
mm,
And
We've kind of got also some like kind of branch business out into Tucson with a
yeah,
fantastic agent who
mm,
we love. She's not fully kind of on our team per se, but
mm.
she is basically our
yeah,
go-to Tucson
she's an
person
arm of
of our
us,
group. Yeah.
So
so
as you so is what's expansion look, so tell us the plan. What's
yeah,
your
I
vision?
mean, we've done a real good job, I think, of being able to secure referrals. We have a lot of referral partners across the country.
Mhm.
How we kind of moved into Tucson was it was like I'm like, all right, why are we giving up business, that we can get,
Mhm.
um, you know,
Sure.
type deal. So, well, yeah, she kills me. I say type deal a lot, but um, so we were like, all right, who can we partner with, that we can make this a win-win for both parties,
Mm,
and it has been, and so what we're looking at is doing a little bit more of that in different markets, and
So Flagstaff, Prescott, like all the
yeah.
northern Arizona, honestly, there's really not much to southern Arizona besides Tucson and that area. There's maybe like little pockets, but they are kind of ghost towns.
Mm,
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and we've also partnered up with some groups that are looking to do the same,
mm,
in this market. So, we just pretty
partnered
much
up with
partnered
a
up with a Minnesota group, on a 6-month commitment, for some seller kind of things. So,
mhm,
yeah, I mean, we're always looking for, I know people say it and they don't like it, but work smarter, not harder.
mm,
mhm,
And, how can I, do what I'm currently doing, but doing it better
mhm.
and doing it more efficiently.
mm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we're always looking for advancement. So
And with that, I also wanted to mention, so also
Yeah.
Steve still does have a team and operating in Philly, actually.
yeah,
Oh,
That
man, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, yeah. Tell me about that, Steve.
yeah.
so like I still have business there. I probably haven't gone after the buyer side business that I would go after when I'm there.
Mm,
Mhm,
But been primary listing focused or referral based.
mm,
Josh and Allison are two members, that kind of utilize in the Philly market that have helped out. So, while my business isn't where it was, it's still kind of an extra component to the business. And, I'm still looking to kind of grow that out a little bit because I do get a lot of requests for business there. But I want to make sure that, if I'm spending a little bit more time here, which I am, that I can effectively do that for the client, versus just, doing it to take it.
that's true. Okay. I
Yeah,
get it.
there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do. But it's just about having the same thing, having good people around you that can kind of be that boots on the ground, for you there.
Very
So,
cool. And then
mhm,
and then I would be remiss to let you both go if I didn't talk 1 minute about the market because I'm always interested in other markets. So I have always been enamored with Arizona real estate, that classic roof and the layout.
mhm.
Like, but ranchers are huge there, right? The one
Yeah,
floor living is huge,
yeah.
and I'll never forget going to visit my parents' friends in these beautiful homes and the coyotes in the backyard and just every aspect of Arizona. I was always enamored with it. I loved Arizona. So give us an idea. Nice home in the beautiful Scottsdale. What's like an average entry point? And are you still seeing a lot of people doing the I guess transitional living or a lot of more full time people moving now? What are you guys seeing?
I'll say one thing on the numbers, and I'll
okay,
let kind of Julie finish it off because
okay.
she's
Yeah,
extremely strong in this market and
Mhm.
yeah.
locations and stuff like that. We've gone from 5,000 homes for sale, roughly
March,
March,
no,
beginning of April.
I think the 22nd of March was like D-Day that we
Yeah,
saw the rates start to have their first massive hike. That was the day I
yeah.
remember, and it was
And,
just around 5,000 that day.
and then in a market that had been appreciating, very well over the last couple of years,
Mm,
Mhm,
we really started to see it. As of today, we have 20,800 homes. So you
wow,
4 times the amount that you had
mhm,
end of March, early April.
wow.
We've been fortunate. We had 8 closings in September.
mhm,
All them out here, both on the buyer and the seller side.
Mm,
We have a bunch of listings coming up and, working with buyers, but it's definitely changed.
mm,
Somebody's interest rate at 3.5% that's now 7, you
mm.
know,
mhm.
their payments double,
Right.
and, your seller that was thinking about getting out because they had this equity,
Top of market
with,
bidding war.
with a 3.5% interest rate that's now, all right, I'm going to go somewhere else for 7.
Mm,
So buy down rates are becoming a lot more prevalent. Buying the
mm,
rate down, concessions a lot more prevalent than were there 6 months ago. So,
Mhm.
and then, I'll let her kind of, finish that off just because she's great out here. Like, I mean, she knows this market inside and out. So,
hmm.
So yeah, so to everything that Steve said, that's all accurate about kind of what we're seeing in the market. Um, and despite rates being as high as they are, and I will go on record and say I hate the phrase marry the house, date the rate. Hate
Yeah.
it. Hate
Yeah.
it. Don't like it. Sounds really hokey. Sounds very like I'm gonna bring you a pecan pie recipe. Please
Yeah.
hire me, kind of realtor. Anyway, um,
No, but it's true.
it's
It's
yeah,
true. It's true.
um, but the prices, a lot of the kind of sellers out here are still stuck 3, 4, 5 months ago, which was completely different world. We see things slow down also over the summer in Phoenix. I can't imagine why with 122-degree days. Um, Plus, we've got a lot of snowbirds. I think, we're not economists, and we don't have a crystal ball. We just we are seeing the same news and hearing the same things from both our clients and other agents as well. Um, we've seen just a massive slowdown, increase in days on market.
Mm,
If you are a buyer, and particularly if you are an investor, of which probably we're working with quite a few of those currently,
mhm.
um, right around this time, this is the opportunity really to shoot your shot.
I
Um,
agree.
if somebody is really, really motivated, and it's unfortunate, and we feel for, that seller, and it depends on their personal circumstances. Somebody who's selling just to kind of see what kind of nibbles they're going to get is a
Mm,
whole different story than somebody who really has an actual need. And of course, depends on their marketing. I will say, I know you asked me about kind of pricing in this market. I don't know how we are for time, so I'll
oh,
hurry up.
you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So just the other day, out of curiosity, because I feel like every week or every day there's something new with pricing. Looking at kind of entry level homes in Scottsdale, which
Mm,
if you wanted a 3-2 car garage, modest condition with a pool, you were
mm.
looking at least about 700,000 a few
Wow.
weeks ago. Now I've seen some that are probably, if they're not there, they're going to be there, I think,
Mm,
shortly, in
mm,
the mid fives,
mm.
which is probably a fair adjustment for the rate.
Sure.
It's still even a little bit, you're still actually paying a little more even than when it was at 7,
Mm,
if you're a buyer, and you're kind of going on the same kind of guidelines, and as far as percentage that you're putting down, which I'm not the lender, so I will save
Yeah.
my lane on
you're
that
good.
one.
You're good.
Um,
You're good.
but yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing. In the winter, we do tend to see a slight pickup
Mm,
in volume, especially as we do have seasonal buyers.
mm,
I'm curious, and also looking at, it's not just the local market, but we look at the other world of events, what's going on with inflation, what's going on with the job market. Um, you know, I don't think, who knows, this could a black swan event, but who knows if COVID would make a reappearance, and if kind of restrictions would cause similar shutdowns. That was one of the things that hadn't pushed a massive influx of
mm.
growth into our market to begin with, along with the Airbnb market. Um, but maybe we have an incredibly cold winter. Maybe the hurricane season is a lot more pronounced too in the southeastern part of the US, and people still want the weather, and they still want to be in a red state.
Yeah.
Arizona is an option. Maybe there's fires in California and Washington and Oregon,
Mm.
and maybe there's that in California. I've also heard kind of talk. I don't know. Don't ask me the source, so I'm just gonna say it anyway.
I won't ask you. I
Um,
don't do sources.
of like of different taxes for people selling in kind of luxury price points, regardless of your profit on homes, that could just push some people out there over the edge. Maybe there's more traffic that builds up on freeways outside, and we still have a reasonable commute in Phoenix. And then there's also the election, so everyone's guess is as good as mine. Basically, I don't know, but just looking at what we have right now, this is definitely a good time to shoot your shot,
Mm,
as long as you can stomach the rates and the possibility that they may not come down,
mm,
but that you have a means to handle that, because
Yeah.
pricing wise, this is some of the best pricing we've seen since at least 2019 or early 2020. Right now, it could go further, although I don't know, because we have
Yeah.
so many people who've bought, and so they've got so much equity or locked in great rates, they may not be
Yeah.
selling.
mm,
So
I'll say one thing too, and due to the fact that I operate in what I consider three different markets,
mhm,
the Phoenix market out here, I have the Philadelphia market, and then I also have the surrounding suburbs market. They're
mm.
all different,
Yeah. Sure.
and you see a lot of things on Facebook or social media saying, "Hey, the market is this or the market's that." Real estate's localized,
mhm,
Right.
and what we're seeing out in Phoenix is definitely not what's being seen in the surrounding markets of the suburbs of Philly.
Right.
You know, I just had a buyer, 14 offers on a property above asking. unfortunately, we had to sell we're selling the property due to kind of a health condition,
Mm.
but, I'm getting 10K more than we bought it for, a month ago.
Sure.
So it's really, it's
And
always
that's a
been.
good point. That's a really good point. And I've always thought of Scottsdale, and I'll go Scottsdale specifically because it's funny. Like that's where my mind always goes with Arizona.
Love
I've
Scott.
always thought of like you know all of these things. Of course, rates and economics influence overall volume, but the
Mhm.
person that wants to retire and get on that golf course is still going to retire and get on that damn golf course.
It's true.
Yeah,
It is true, but you know
yeah.
what? The people that have the money to do so
Uh
still
huh.
care about their money. You
True.
Yeah,
know, they're
True.
like
True.
nobody that's truly wealthy and has just a lot of disposable income or options
Mhm.
is going to be like super flippant if they see the trends like,
Right.
oh, just because you priced that, 500 and I know that everybody else is going for it. Well, I really like your house. I'll give you what you want.
yeah,
Right.
They have
Right.
options now. They have
True.
four
yeah.
True.
times the options.
And
So,
and the difference right now from the market, before I think people could move,
Mhm.
there were so many good factors in their favor. Sellers could get as much as they possibly could. Somebody from California that just sold their $1 million house
mhm,
could come here for 700,000. Take
Right.
that equity, get a great rate.
Right.
mhm,
Where what I'm seeing now is, I'm going to give Jason Gizzy a little prop, here. Whenever I got into the business early on, he's like, "Hey, belly to belly." He's like, "There's 6 different things that people are still going to downsize. Still get married, still get divorced. Unfortunately, people are going to pass away. They're going to get married. There's life changing events that
mhm,
people are still going to do regardless of the market.
Sure.
So it's all right. How do I capitalize on that, or how do I
Sure.
not capitalize on a death or a divorce, but how do I look for opportunities that
Sure.
where I can help somebody,
And
you
that
know?
makes sense. And that makes yeah, and that's true. I mean, those are things that have nothing to do with the economy. It's a
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
I'll say
100%.
one last thing because I'd be
yeah,
remiss if I didn't thank
yeah.
somebody.
Do it.
Uh, 5 a.m. Club, I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
You
Jake
know,
Dreyfus.
Jake Dreyfus, Sky
Yeah.
Michaels, Cheyenne out in Seattle, who kind of took the
Yeah.
West Coast thing. Jason suggested that to me when I got in the business,
Yeah.
and what that did for me, it surrounded myself with a tribe.
Mhm.
It surrounded myself with people that were there to support me and help me, and I became great friends with a lot of them.
Mhm.
And that to me is what I think the most important thing in this industry. You
Oh,
know,
that's 100%. I
you
agree.
know,
And,
I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if it
mhm.
weren't for her,
Mhm.
and she won't say it, but vice
Hmm.
versa, you know,
Mhm.
but we've been able to partner and grow and get better,
Mhm.
um, and not without your obstacles and failures,
Mhm.
in the whole thing, but
Sure.
my business is better because of her and vice versa. So,
That's
Oh,
that's good.
and I was gonna shout out to the 8:30 a.m. club because that's where my speed still,
yeah.
yeah. So
Funny.
Now, she's the only one in the 8:30 club, right?
which is
But
how I like it
yeah.
anyway. So it's fine. So
Well, it's Joe. Jake and I used to be bar mitzvah DJs together. He and I go
Okay.
way back, way back. I know Jake forever, man. Yeah, it's
Eh,
funny. It's
awesome,
funny how it
awesome.
all works out. It's
Yeah,
funny.
you know what? Like, and everybody's connected by
Oh
something,
yeah,
mhm.
oh yeah.
So,
My pediatric dentist, Ray Solomon, moved out to Scottsdale 20 years ago, and that's who we used to go visit. That's why I know Arizona so well.
Jake, myself, Noah, and Danny Kowalski, who you may know, he's a lender,
Oh
uh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
through the 5 a.m. club, did a
yeah.
Spartan race. You know,
Oh, cool.
I hadn't done anything in probably 15 years, so I'm training 3 days before to do this race, and you know what? You learn a lot about some people,
uh,
in those type situations. And I remember what Jake and Noah had said was, you know, um, I can't remember that it's, no man left behind, and
uh,
we all finished together.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
God for that because I would have been left behind. I would have walked down the bottom of the hill and just said, "The heck with this," you know. And it taught me a lot about those guys and their tenacity and their ability to kind of get to where they're going.
Mm.
Um, so, props to those guys. I'm very appreciative and grateful for all the opportunities I've been given by a lot of people.
That's
So,
awesome. Well, listen, guys, it was a pleasure getting to know both of you live,
and
That's
virtually,
awesome. Yeah.
virtually.
next time, next time I'm in town, I will definitely we'll do
Please,
lunch,
yeah,
Mhm.
I would
or you come
Or
out
vice
here, and
versa.
yeah. So,
yeah, I love Chompies, guys. I love it.
all right,
Oh yeah.
So who are we reaching out? So if someone wants to buy in Arizona, where are we going? How are we getting a hold of you guys?
all right. So, 302-985-7751 is Steve.
Okay.
And 732-239-1028. Still my Jersey number. Call me, but
Yeah,
better yet,
text.
text me.
Text.
Text me. I will get back to
And
you
Yeah,
eventually.
are you JulieSellsAZ.com? Is that you?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And then
Julie
Mhm.
Sells AZ.
Steve Brady sells real estate at gmail.com.
Love it. Okay, guys, enjoy the weather. Go Phillies and
Eagles too. So,
go Eagles. Go
Eagles are in
everyone.
Arizona right now.
Oh,
Uh,
even better.
yeah,
Mhm.
so you can look at me. I'll be in section 102 on Sunday.
Steve,
Um,
Steve, you better represent, man. If I see that Cowboys jersey, I'm flying out
and look,
there.
I brought I got an Eagles jersey. I got a throwback Carmichael jersey showing my age. And got the Eagles hat. So we'll see.
And if anybody is wanting to buy or sell immediately and wants
Yeah.
another ticket to the game this Sunday, ticket's yours.
Yeah.
You just
I
need
could.
to just sign your
Julie will.
listing.
Julie will gladly show you homes all over Arizona during game time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Guys,
Chad,
yeah, go
thanks
ahead.
so much, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. It's always fun. Everyone, thanks for watching another edition of the Superstar Show. We will see you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
See you, man.
Thanks.
See you guys.